What is up, Falcon fans? It's your boy, Let Us Pray. I hope you're having a blessed and a prosperous day. This is an episode I actually ended up morphing another episode that I wanted to do this topic on. All right, so smash that like, boop, and subscribe, boop, and notification bell for your boy. We're doing Falcons talk, man. You know how it is. We don't have too much to talk about as far as playing goes because we're not in the playoffs. But first things first, if you know you're a Falcon fan, we are honorary Tampa Bay Buck fans today. Those Saints will go down. Those Saints will go down. I am cheering for Tom Brady. I'm cheering for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat that and beat those Saints. So I digress. Let me get back to the topic. Man, this is going to be an interesting topic. It's calling Leader of Men. Leader of Men. A leader of men. Arthur Smith. Are you a leader of men? I say that because there's tons of guys who have the smarts up here, who can scheme, who can do well on the chalkboard. They can do well even on the field, but they're not necessarily leaders of men. They can be great players. They can be great in the classroom, great at studying, but you're not a leader of men. What makes a great coach is the quality to be able to convince other men to follow you. That's what makes a great coach. You convince another man that if you do this for me, if you do your part, we're going to win. Not every man can do that. As simple as it sounds, not every man can convince other men to do a specific job for the better of the team. To do a specific job, and it's going to lead us to victory. Not every man's going to buy into that, especially if that means marginalizing, you could say marginalizing your talent. I'm able to do a lot more, but I just need you to do this. If you do this one thing, you're going to help the team so much. In the end, you're going to see the goal. We're going to win. We're going to be Super Bowl champions. But you got to buy in. You got to get other men to buy in to what you're selling. You heard that before? That they're just not buying in, or the message is going on deaf ears. You heard that with Dan Quinn the last few years. The players just have tuned him out. It's just, yeah. His message is just grown cold, grown old. Is Arthur Smith going to be a leader of men? We do not know. I cannot predict yes or no. We will have to see how the season progresses next year. We will have to see what his leadership qualities are. It's one thing to be an offensive coordinator. It's one thing to be a defensive coordinator. But as you saw with so many people in the Falcons franchise, once you get on that head coaching hat, you get that head coaching hat on, that hat gets hot. It gets hot under there. They start losing hair like me. It's hot. And that seat is hot. And if you're not a great leader of man, you're going to fold under the pressure. We've seen it many times, man. The coach not to be named. I don't say his name because I just can't stand the guy. I'll just be honest with you. That's something God has to help me with. I can't stand the guy. Came in as a Falcons coach. He was a highly touted college coach, an offensive mastermind. Mike Vick gets put in jail. He comes in and he's just overwhelmed by the pressure, overwhelmed by a team just being bad. Used to coaching college kids. Horrible season. Doesn't even look at the players eye to eye and say, hey, I'm just not going to be able to finish the season out. Hey, you know what? Or I'm going to finish the season out, but I'm going to leave after this season. It's just not for me, not what I expected. I thought Michael Vick was going to be here, and this thing ruined my whole plans with him, getting put in prison. And I'm just going to bow out so you guys can get another good coach in here. It's just not what, I'm just not fit for the job. I'm not a leader of men. I was just expecting one man, Michael Vick, to bail me out. I'm not a leader of men. He couldn't look another man in the face and tell them that he had failed them. So he wrote a note in the middle of the night, left it on his desk, and put in his resignation.
Messages girlfriend, rocket double bubble, image.
So he wouldn't have to face the other coaches and players. It's just horrible, man. Not to be named. I'm not going to say his name. And don't you put his name in the comment section either. I say all that to say, we don't know what Arthur Smith's going to bring. Yes, he's highly touted. The coaches have said great things about him. Players have said great things about him. He holds people accountable. He's this, he's that. But when you get that head coaching hat on, are you going to be a great leader of men? Let me talk about a couple coaches that I think are great leaders of men. These coaches may not be great with X's and O's, but it's shown and it's proven that these guys are great leaders of men. You can see it in their style. You can see it in the press conferences. You can see it in the success of the team. First guy, Mike Tomlin, a great freaking leader of men. You see when there's the backs are against the wall, when they're having a rough season, he bites the bullet. He says, starts with me. If I can't get these guys ready, it starts with me. You don't see him going around throwing people under the bus, doing all that's one thing about being a great leader of men. You don't pass the buck or blame someone else. You put it on yourself. You put your big boy pants on, you swallow it, you eat it. And you don't pass the buck. You don't pass blame to someone else. That's being a great leader of men. Because all those men behind you, 53 men on the roster? They see that. They see that like, man, we know we suck. We know we've been playing terrible. And he took the blame. He didn't point out, the right guard ain't been blocking. The wide receiver. This guy ain't been doing this. This guy at the quarterback, if he wasn't, nope. He said, we just simply got to be better. And it starts with me. It starts with the coaches. Men respect a man who will do that. Men respect a man who will take the blame, eat it, even if it isn't his fault. Another great leader of men, Bill Belichick. He got some sort of sorcery, wizardry. You see people go there. They may not like him. But they respect his leadership. Bill Belichick, man. Great leader of men. Extremely detailed, extremely, what would you say, a disciplined coach, a hard disciplinarian, no nonsense type of guy. You see in the press conference, he don't have really anything to say at all. He's not going to give you too much good or too much bad. He's not going to be too high or too low. He's giving you the same even keel. Whether you win or lose, you can't tell in the press conference if they won or lost after the game. And you can respect that as a man because he's consistent. He's the same day in and day out. Another great leader, man. This is my last one. Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy has been documented as one of the, obviously he's a Christian and he professed his faith even as he was a coach. I mean, he wasn't in there, preaching to him and things like that, but that was that's his nature as a man. He's a God-fearing man. And, he led by example as a man of faith and his players loved him and he was very successful as a coach. So I think those are great leaders of men. Will Arthur Smith be the next? It's your boy, Let Us Pray. Peace and I'm out. Woo!